We have an opportunity to cripple a depraved enemy, but bombing won't make them normal. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Fair has an analysis of the leading media comments on Iran so far this year. I've boiled down some of the worst of it here. The Washington Post feigned to suggest that airstrikes are not very effective. However, after observing that they are at best a temporary solution, the newspaper pivots to advocating an optimal strategy to squeeze the Iranian regime as hard as possible at this moment of maximum vulnerability using Western financial controls, which are actually working quite well. Working quite well in killing a bunch of people who need basic medicines, one might add. The same newspaper obsessed over the need for Trump to deter Iran, seemingly unable to comprehend that the whole point of deterrence is to deter war, not start yet another one. The president has done an admirable job of enforcing red lines against the Islamic Republic in the past, it declared, but maintaining deterrence is a never-ending mission, and Trump cannot turn the other cheek. The newspaper adds, airstrikes alone won't bring down the Iranian regime, which almost sounds like a moment of sanity until they finish the sentence, or make it behave like a normal country. Oh, please tell me why, oh, why isn't our bombing making these countries normal? All we want is for everywhere to be normal, and what could be more normal in 2026 than the United States of America? Iran's murderous regime is irredeemable, thundered the New York Times, and the Khamenei regime is too depraved to be reformed. By the end of January, the same paper was worrying that the US would miss the opportunity to cripple an enemy when it is vulnerable. Trump has the option of striking a blow against government repression, it said. When the world doesn't choose one of these available options, or some form of military intervention, of course, we are left with graveyards. Sounds like something Oscar Wilde would slur when off his head on cocaine. The only thing that causes more graveyards than war is not going to war. It's light outside and no one likes you, Oscar. Go home. I also know that the president, who is so grotesquely at fault for inflaming the situation in Minnesota, makes an unlikely champion of protesters in Iran, concedes the New York Times. That one already sounds like an oven-ready joke. One wonders what Trump could actually do domestically that would cause the NYT to question the sagacity of letting him loose with several aircraft carriers abroad. At the most charitable interpretation, these opinion leaders seem to think a war with Iran will involve limited strikes with huge beneficial effects, but anyone willing to dwell on the predictable outcomes for 5 minutes would not come to that conclusion. Last year, Iran had calibrated its responses to signal what it could do. This time, it will do what it can actually do. Everyone knows this, which is why Trump is taking so long to amass his forces, and yet the leading newspapers refuse to see it. This will not be a repeat of the 12-day war. Token strikes will trigger massive retaliation and achieve nothing. Major strikes will trigger massive retaliation and cause regional war. The blindness isn't confined to the US press. The BBC also wrote a long article a couple of weeks ago identifying 7 scenarios for if the US attacks Iran, which managed to avoid mentioning the blindingly obvious massive prioritized missile strikes on Israel. When Trump claims help is on its way, this is the level of sensitivity and reflection with which the media will treat it.